Take a deep breath, Bolts Nation, because today brings 4 jolts that could flip our season. A quiet move in the backfield, a defensive mastermind drawing league-wide attention, a comparison that revives memories of a recent blockbuster, and a giant in the trenches returning with a story no one fully told. Which one changes our path right out of the gate? You won't believe what we've got today. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's jump straight into the news. Stick with me, because the turning point you're hoping for might be hiding in the detail everyone almost missed. No blinking today? Deal? Anyone scanning the 53 probably thought the running back rotation was set, but one whisper down the hallway flipped the switch. Jim Harbaugh isn't satisfied with the depth for week 1. And when a coach known for squeezing every ounce of competitiveness turns on the radar, the whole machine moves. The signal arrived in the quiet of the transaction wire, the place where decisions look bureaucratic but hide real intent. Why tweak now? Because the detail that decides a game usually lives behind the scenes, and if there's a crack in the plan, it has to be sealed before kickoff. Pieces started to fall into place, and the guest list says plenty about the plan. The Chargers hosted workouts for Amar Johnson, Keelan Robinson, Anthony Tyus, and Owen Wright. 4 different profiles, one shared goal: find situational burst, reliable pass protection, and immediate special teams value. This isn't a search for a name, it's a search for a role. The explanation runs through a domino effect triggered by losing Raheem Sanders after final cuts. The buzzed-about UDFA became a waiver target and left the board, revealing a clear gap between the base package and third down variations. On the initial 53, Harbaugh went light at the position. Omarion Hampton, Najee Harris, and Hassan Haskins, valued for special teams, made the roster. The staff later brought Nyheim Hines back on the practice squad, a piece who offers returnability and receiving chops. But the practice squad is already at 17, which complicates any addition without moving parts elsewhere. So here's the question: is it worth sacrificing depth at another spot to secure a 4th active RB, or can this group handle business with a couple of early week elevations for Hines? One factor changes the board: the pleasant surprise that Najee Harris looks ready for kickoff despite missing most of camp. If he's healthy and rolling, the physical identity Harbaugh preaches gains traction from snap 1. Hampton becomes the fresh hammer for heavy downs and short yardage, while Haskins carries weight on coverage units and gives relief snaps. The plan B, with Hines elevated, brings third down utility, screens, and returns, keeping predictability low. Still, this staff doesn't want to rely on ifs. It wants to test who can help now, even if it's in 6 to 8 snap packages. Tactically, the message is crystal clear. LA wants to multiply threats and reduce volatility. Against defenses that shrink the field, you know who we need to protect the quarterback, control the clock, and win the field position battle. Fans feel that urgency. Do we roll with what we have or add speed now? And the demand for aggression is fair. While the decision cooks, one certainty holds: this staff doesn't doze. Today's detail could turn into an edge on the biggest stage, and that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. When the dust settles on the offense, identity gets built on defense. Inside this blue and gold engine, one name is echoing not only in Los Angeles, but across league backrooms: Jesse Minter. For those who track the NFL with a magnifying glass, that last name already carries pedigree. Lower profile college stops, a stint in Baltimore with John Harbaugh, and the final leap at Michigan alongside Jim. Each step was a brick laid on the path that brought him here to the epicenter of the Chargers project. So when Jeff Howe of The Athletic says Minter could be a head coach by 2026, it isn't media hype, it's a read on the room. A rival executive, per the report, insisted the rise is a matter of time. Why? Because numbers don't lie. With just one All-Pro Derwin James, Minter led the league's stingiest scoring defense in 2024. That alone would make headlines. The real impact goes further. He transformed a doubted unit into the engine of a turnaround from 5-12 to 11-6 last season. The weight of that grows when you remember the opener is against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs on Brazilian soil. This isn't just another week 1, it's the perfect showcase to test a coordinator who might be writing his own future as a head coach. How this defense responds to the league's most creative offense will be Exhibit A in any future interview. The fan base already feels it. Between excited praise and the fear of losing him too soon, debates are popping off. It's inevitable. When you've got a brilliant mind working alongside Harbaugh, the whole NFL watches. For us, fans ride the thrill of a potential top-tier defense while bracing for the possibility that others will covet our architect. Every perfectly timed blitz, every coverage that corrals Mahomes turns the spotlight brighter. Here's the strategic question: how do the Chargers balance this equation? Maximize Minter's genius while he's here, or build an environment so compelling he sticks around? If the NFL is a chessboard, we're looking at a piece that's threatening to become a queen. But hold up, the next twist might be even more unbelievable. While the whole market buzzed over the bombshell of the week, Micah Parsons to the Packers. Los Angeles didn't panic. Confidence won the day. The reason wears 52, owns 3 Pro Bowls with the Chargers, and is living proof of how one deal can change a franchise's fate. Khalil Mack. The comparison isn't random. In 2018, when the Bears cracked open the safe and sent 2 first-rounders to the Raiders, plenty of folks called it crazy. Mack answered on the field, 12-4, a division title, instant impact. In 2024, Green Bay paid the exact same price for Parsons and handed him the richest contract ever for a non-QB. The story feels familiar, just with new leading men. And here's where Chargers fans take pride. While the league debates whether Parsons will justify the haul, we've already got the proof in our locker room. At 34, Mack isn't the 2016 phenom, but he's still a force that changes protection plans, dictates coverages, and rushes QBs into bad decisions. He's one of the reasons Jim Harbaugh believes this roster can leap from 11-6 to a legitimate shot at the AFC West crown. The Parsons parallel rallies the fan base. In forums and timelines, some say, we don't need to mortgage the future for immediate impact. We've already got our Micah. Others point out that riding with Mack at this stage is a rare chance, a mentor for young pass rushers, a pillar of experience, and the clearest sign that this team doesn't need desperate moves. Strategically, the message to the rest of the league is obvious. The Chargers trust what they have. Harbaugh didn't jump into a bidding war for another superstar because he believes the mix of Mack and Joey Bosa, plus the rotation, is enough to harass Mahomes in Week 1. When the head coach shows conviction, the locker room buys in. Now the big curiosity, will Parsons deliver the same instant jolt Mack gave Chicago? Or will this comparison simply remind everyone that not every mega bet pays off? For us, it barely matters. What counts is knowing we already have a Micah at home and he wears blue and gold. But hang on, the next piece could be even more decisive for the season. Just when the preseason felt routine, one detail injected suspense: Mekhi Becton's health. The massive interior lineman arrived as the key piece to fix one of 2023's weakest spots, then disappeared for a chunk of camp, leaving fans uneasy. Harbaugh and the staff went radio silent, revealing no specifics, which only stoked anxiety. Losing the most important interior addition right before kickoff would have been a near nightmare. This week, Becton finally spoke. Though he said it was just nagging things, the persistent aches every player carries, nothing that would jeopardize his season. More than that, he said he's fired up to get back with his guys, build chemistry, and turn the page on any doubt. For fans, hearing the player himself say he'd rather be on the field than in the training room is music to the ears. Still, recent history with complicated injuries keeps anyone from feeling fully relaxed. The strategic impact here is massive. Zion Johnson and Bradley Bozeman return to the exact roles they held in 2023 without major upgrades. Translation, the real bet to raise the interior ceiling is Becton. If he's healthy, Justin Herbert's pocket stabilizes, run game lanes open more consistently, and the offense breathes. Without him, the risk is a rerun of the instability that derailed too many drives last year. So the fan sentiment is mixed. There's optimism seeing him smiling, talking chemistry, doing pressers. There's also the fear that minor aches are the prelude to something bigger. The season is long and trench warfare collects a toll. What can't happen is the Chargers relying on improvisation at the most sensitive spot when the immediate opponent is the Kansas City Chiefs. For Harbaugh, the posture is clear. Reinforce confidence in Becton, use his presence as an emotional anchor in the locker room, and quietly prepare contingency plans. In a matchup where every snap could swing the outcome, protection is non-negotiable. And it might be this return, almost overlooked by the national cycle, that decides whether the Chargers enter 2024 as contenders or just supporting actors. After 4 straight bombs, it's impossible not to feel that something big is brewing for the Chargers. Between quiet backfield moves, a coordinator already drawing head coach buzz, confidence in Khalil Mack as a counter to the market, and the enigmatic return of Mekhi Becton, fans are breathing expectation and anxiety in equal measure. This is the portrait of a team gearing up to write a different season. Now I want to hear from you. Which storyline hit you the hardest? Drop your take in the comments, lock in your subscription, hit the like, and let's ride this out together to the very end.